there's a lot of rappers behind the scene that want to talk about it and they're scared. But sweetheart, I'm not scared. I'm legendary in these streets. You know how many artists I've spoken to behind the scenes that are too afraid to speak up?
So you will speak. We'll speak, y'all.
I'm gonna speak because y'all can't touch me. I am completely protected. I am protected by God. Y'all don't see that by now?
Rapper Nicki Minaj was the apparent target of a swatting call last night. At around 7 p.m., the LA County Sheriff's Department received a call claiming an assault with a deadly weapon had occurred at the Grammy winner's Hidden Hills residence.
All right. Remember when Jay-Z said this?
I think we passed kneeling.
Let me play it again. This time, look at the reaction of the lady sat just behind him.
You gotta be working with him. As far as I'm concerned, Roc Nation is run by a couple. You know what I'm saying? Why would people think the government don't run businesses? You don't think by right now that they ain't got a major rapper that's a snitch, that's an informant?
Welcome back to Fame Radar, where fame meets the facts and nothing stays hidden. Nicki Minaj just came forward with explosive claims, and this time she brought receipts. According to her, Roc Nation isn't just managing talent. They're allegedly running coordinated operations targeting high-profile rappers, and she's not just tossing out vague accusations, she's calling out names directly, including Jay-Z and convicted drug trafficker turned government informant Desiree Perez.
Prevent me from leaving wrong.
The incident started on March 27th of last year.
So legally, I can't go home.
No.
Why?
Demore Hadley says she was lured to that parking lot by someone posing as a potential client for the landscaping company she runs with her then boyfriend, now husband.
She said her mom didn't just play dirty. She went full-blown cartel with it. Once she told Desiree she wasn't leaving her husband, that's when things got real grimy.
But this isn't some baseless speculation. Nicki is drawing connections between Roc Nation, the sentencing of Tory Lanez, the snitch label pinned on 6in9ine, Casanova's federal RICO charges, and several other artists caught in legal crossfires. And what ties all of them together? Each one reportedly spoke out or took issue with Desiree Perez. Things took a shocking turn when Desiree Perez's own daughter stepped into the conversation.
Most artists have no clue what is happening. Y'all don't know what the we go through. At the workplace, you know how many women, I said this on Twitter, get strategically blackballed out of their positions when they're a little too strong, when they're a little too smart, and get told that they're angry black women and they're having a breakdown?
Publicly supporting Nicki's accusations. She claimed that her own mother had her institutionalized in a mental facility for no clear reason. That allegation alone sent shockwaves through social media. And if someone is capable of allegedly silencing their own family, what would stop them from targeting a public figure like Nicki Minaj? Especially now that she's releasing evidence linking Roc Nation to federal cooperation? Nicki is suggesting that Roc Nation may be working with government agencies to quietly neutralize artists who challenge their power.
So legally, I can't go home.
No, you cannot.
Why?
Because you're being Baker active.
Body camera video shows the moments Broward deputies encouraged Demore Hadley to get into this pickup truck with people she says she didn't know.
I can't ride with you and you guys take me?
You're going to be in handcuffs, so dog's not going to be able to come?
No, I don't want to be handcuffed.
Okay.
Demore says they took her to a hospital for a mental health evaluation after this doctor signed paperwork saying she was a risk to herself.
What he told me was, we received a call from your family that you tried to OD the night before.
A doctor she says she'd never met before.
With your mom, with your aunt.
Okay. And according to Demore, it's her own mother who's behind it. In this lawsuit, she claims her mother, Desiree Perez, used unlawful means to have Demore falsely detained under Florida's Baker Act and Marchman Act.
So she's the CEO of Roc Nation, a company that she owns along with Sean Carter, the famous rapper Jay-Z.
Think it all sounds far-fetched? Go search for the video of Desiree's daughter exposing her mother online. And then ask why no major media outlets picked it up. That silence, Nicki argues, is exactly why she's going public. And if what she's revealing holds up, then any rapper who speaks out may find themselves in serious danger, including her. Here's what Nicki Minaj actually released. Evidence, she says, connects Roc Nation and Desiree Perez directly to federal operations targeting artists. Nicki shared a screenshot that claims Perez, a top executive at Roc Nation, has been actively working with federal authorities to monitor and manipulate musicians by using their legal issues as leverage. The document describes Desiree Perez as a confidential informant for federal law enforcement, language that raises major red flags. And this wasn't just a random direct message or some unverified screenshot. Nicki made it clear, the document comes directly from a legal filing, specifically a lawsuit filed by Desiree Perez's own daughter, Dare Hadley.
Because she has been through some trauma and some abuse with Roc Nation, with Desiree Perez, with other individuals. They've abused her. They've abused of her platform. They abused of her talents. They've abused of her freedom of speech. They've abused her family. They've attacked her husband. They've attacked her child. And it's sad. It's really sad.
According to the court records, Dare alleges that Perez forcibly had her institutionalized in a mental health facility with no medical justification. Dare even released body camera footage showing the moment officers took her away, claiming that the entire setup was orchestrated by her mother. And the most disturbing part? The lawsuit claims this wasn't about mental health, it was personal. According to the complaint, Desiree allegedly used her wealth, status, and influence to destroy Dare's marriage to her husband, Jevin Hadley. Dare claims her mother didn't approve of the relationship.
Roc Nation, my mother, Desiree Perez, all these law firms, Quinn and Emanuel, Reed Smith, they have a lot of money and connections and resources. It's really sad. Somebody so resourceful, talented, high profile as Nicki Minaj being targeted. It should really scare the American people. It should really scare you guys too, right? Because I'm the daughter, so it's like at this point, if it's happening to me, I think she's really outspoken, and I'm grateful that she's being outspoken on it, because I think she's almost seeing it like, well, it happened to me, it's happening to her, let me speak up on it, nobody is safe right now.
And when she refused to divorce him, Perez allegedly threatened to invoke Florida's controversial Baker Act, a law that allows someone to be held in psychiatric care without their consent. That law, formerly known as the Florida Mental Health Act of 1971, was reportedly used as a weapon in this family power struggle. The claims are intense, and if true, they raise even bigger questions about how that same kind of influence could be used against others in the music industry. So let's break down exactly what Nicki Minaj exposed.
Earlier this month, officers arrived at Minaj's home around 6 p.m. to investigate a report that Nicki's 3-year-old son was being abused. After examining the toddler, officers determined he was safe and they left, but another call was made in the early morning hours, and around 3 a.m. Minaj and her family were awakened after a fire was reported at her home. Firefighters arrived and found no flames. Swatting is a term used by law enforcement officials used to describe an act of making a false report in order to get a response from police that can involve an armed SWAT team.
She posted a screenshot online claiming that Roc Nation and Desiree Perez have been quietly working with federal law enforcement to monitor artists, and worse, to use those artists' legal problems as leverage for control. According to the post, Desiree isn't just involved. She's described directly as a confidential informant for federal agencies. Now here's the kicker. This wasn't just a random DM or gossip blog rumor. The document Nicki shared actually came from an official court case, specifically a lawsuit filed by Desiree Perez's own daughter.
Rapper Nicki Minaj was the apparent target of a swatting call last night at around 7 p.m. The LA County Sheriff's Department received a call claiming an assault with a deadly weapon had occurred at the Grammy winner's Hidden Hills residence. The caller claimed somebody had shot a black female adult, and 2 suspects wearing all black were still on the property. But when deputies arrived at Minaj's residence, there was no evidence of any crime.
Dare Hadley. According to those court filings, Desiree allegedly used her position and influence to forcibly institutionalize her daughter without any valid medical cause. Dare even released body cam footage that showed the exact moment she was taken to a mental institution. She claims the entire ordeal was set up by her own mother as a way to control her. And now, here comes the part that truly shocked the internet. The reason, according to Dare's legal complaint, is disturbing. She says Desiree used her money and power to tear apart her marriage with her husband, Jevin Hadley. Why? Because Jevin is black. Dare says her mother threatened to invoke the Baker Act, a Florida law that allows law enforcement or doctors to involuntarily commit someone for up to 72 hours if she didn't divorce Jevin. Her exact quote, according to Dare, was chilling. "I'm going to Baker Act you if you stay with that N-word. I will have you committed." And this isn't just word of mouth. Dare backed her claim with medical records, multiple blood tests, urine screens, and hair follicle tests, proving she was sober, not under the influence, and mentally stable at the time she was committed. She even posted the receipts on social media, saying, "I've never used drugs. I've never drunk alcohol. My records prove that. But I was still locked away like I was a danger to society." So how does this connect back to Nicki Minaj? Well, Nicki has been calling out Desiree Perez and Roc Nation for years, saying that they've been using their influence to manipulate, silence, and trap artists who don't fall in line. But no one listened. They called her bitter, jealous, or delusional. And now, with Dare coming forward publicly with hard documentation,
Tory Lanez goes to jail. They gave y'all all the facts of the juice of Tory Lanez going to jail and this, that, and the third, and Megan getting arrested and da-da-da-da. 2 days after that, I get a call from Roc Nation that says, "Yo, we heard you're going to make a statement about what happened, and it'd be in your best interest if you don't make that statement."
and first-hand experiences, Nicki's warnings are gaining new weight. And let's not forget, this situation ties directly into the feud between Nicki and Megan Thee Stallion, which brought Roc Nation's name right back into the spotlight. That's when Nicki Minaj turned the pressure up. She publicly threatened to expose what she called Desiree Perez's shady business moves, accusing her of firing several Roc Nation employees without warning, and for no justifiable reason. In a message posted online, Nicki wrote, "On the next song, I'll delve into all the people Desiree allegedly fired for unknown reasons, other things as well. So many people were blindsided and hurt by her, allegedly. She's willing to go broke to try to replace me. Fix it, Jesus." But according to what's been surfacing, these employees weren't fired randomly. Allegedly, they were let go simply because they were fans of Nicki Minaj. That's it. Their loyalty to Nicki reportedly made them a target. And now, Desiree's own daughter, Dare, is stepping up to support those claims.
I got some names that I want to call. Alex Spiro, Desiree Perez, and the whole wicked system of Roc Nation, including you, Jay-Z.
Yes. Yes.
You who say you rose from the gutter, but you have traded and bartered the souls of young men, and you're still doing it.
In her most recent interview, Dare backed Nicki 100%, saying that Desiree and Roc Nation have allegedly been working behind the scenes to sabotage Nicki's reputation, brand, and career. Dare claims their actions go far beyond music politics. They've been personal, calculated, and deeply damaging. In the same interview, Dare said Roc Nation even went after her husband and even targeted her young son. The allegations point to a pattern of intimidation and retaliation. Dare also drew a direct comparison between Nicki's industry struggles and her own traumatic involuntary hospitalization, suggesting that Desiree and Roc Nation operate in ways that are far more disturbing than the public realizes.
The rap game don't want y'all to know certain stuff, right? And I'm gonna expose the whole rap game right now because I got facts, right? This is what I do when I come on live. And shout out to the Queen Nicki. She'll be joining in just a few. She's an executive at Roc Nation. She's an executive at Roc Nation. You see her with Meek Mill. You know what I'm saying? She's an executive at Roc Nation. There she goes right here, right? Let's see who Desiree Perez is, right? The story that spooked Dash revealed how Perez, the wife of longtime Jay-Z wingman Juan Perez, became a cooperating witness for the DEA in the 1990s. Again, this is public information. This is public information.
Nicki, seeing the lawsuit and the interviews circulating, responded on X, formerly Twitter. She wrote, "To the PRMs who claim it wasn't made clear to your ugly expletive Hopefully, Dare's massive and detailed page-by-page claim gets you all the way caught up. And never call me a liar. Never insinuated either. Then she added one final line that echoed loud across social media. Every single angel ever created fights for me the moment I speak. Nicki clearly feels the tide shifting. And with Dare backing her claims in detail, the industry might be forced to pay closer attention. What's clear now is that none of this was isolated. The repeated swatting attempts, the false police reports, the public pressure, it all seemed far too coordinated to be a coincidence. This wasn't just random trolling. It felt targeted. And it all happened during the exact same period when Nicki Minaj was publicly calling out Roc Nation and hinting that something deeper, darker, and more organized was happening behind the scenes. So when Desiree Perez's daughter claims that Roc Nation will destroy anyone who steps out of line, and when Nicki herself is targeted, her family disrupted, and her home swatted repeatedly, you have to ask the hard question. Was this part of a larger playbook? Was this Roc Nation sending a very clear and deliberate message? Because at this point, it no longer feels random. It feels methodical. And the key figure at the center of this storm is Desiree Perez, a woman whose background raises serious concerns. Nicki Minaj wasn't just calling out names for attention. She was shining a spotlight on someone with a deeply controversial past. According to an investigative account on X, Resist Programming, Desiree Perez has a long history tied to criminal activity and federal cooperation. In 1994, she was arrested and charged for possession of 35 kilograms of cocaine, along with conspiracy to distribute controlled substances across multiple states. Federal court records, later reviewed by the New York Daily News, confirmed that Perez wasn't just caught in a local bust. She was allegedly part of a larger drug trafficking operation that stretched from New York to Florida to Puerto Rico. This wasn't a small-time case. It was federal, multi-jurisdictional, and very serious. And the records show Desiree Perez wasn't operating alone. She was tied to an organized network, and that network eventually collapsed. And then there's Casanova, another artist with direct ties to Roc Nation who found himself hit with federal RICO charges. The timing? Almost too perfect. Casanova had just begun to voice concerns about Roc Nation's inner workings, openly questioning some of their business decisions and treatment of artists. Then suddenly, the feds came knocking. The way his indictment unfolded mirrored a pattern that Nicki Minaj recently exposed. Bring artists in through contracts, keep them under control, and if they resist, burn them. It's not just a theory anymore. Too many coincidences are lining up to ignore. But here's the part that's raising alarms industry-wide. Nicki says Casanova and Tory Lanez are just the beginning. According to her, there's an entire list of people who've been targeted, and it includes more than just rappers. Managers, media executives, lawyers, even judges. The web is bigger than anyone expected. And if Nicki Minaj decides to release everything she's holding, Roc Nation might be facing a full-scale industry reckoning, one that plays out publicly and possibly in court. This story isn't over. In fact, it might just be getting started. If you want more deep dives into stories like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the next bombshell might drop at any moment.